Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very honored to have Deacon Albert Patterson with us today. He's a wonderful young man, and we're going to have a little chat. Y'all can just listen in and see how good or bad we do. Hello, Deacon. How are you? It's
Doing
good to see
fantastic.
you, sir. God bless you, man. So,
Good to
what's
see you.
good to see you? What are you up to today? What do you want to talk about? I like it when we talk about any topic you're involved in. I heard you were over in the Vatican the other day giving the Pope a back rub or something. I don't remember what I read. Was that happening or?
I think you got me cover one of your other clients.
Oh, I could be. Yeah, I used to have a client named Leo, but I don't know. Was that his name? I don't remember. I'm just
Matter
teasing
of
you.
fact, as a matter of fact, I just got back from Ohio.
Anyway, so you want to let's reintroduce you a little bit to the public. Tell us just a little bit about yourself and did you say you're from Ohio or?
No, I just got back from up there. I was up there for my grandson's graduation.
Okay, because I'm from Ohio. We probably said that on the first show, but yeah. Right. Where do you live normally?
Well, I'm in San Antonio at home now.
All right. I
Mhm.
do interview more than one person a month, so I do forget stuff.
You got
Anyway,
hey, you got one heck of a library, man. Come on.
I did what to who?
I said you got a thick library. It's hard to keep up with all that.
Well, so I understand you're in Legal Shield, is that right?
That is correct, sir.
Is that something you want to talk about, or do you want to talk about something else today in particular?
No, I think we're gonna talk about that a little bit, and anything else you want to interview about, we can still make it
Well,
happen.
no, eventually I want to, if you're, I imagine you're active in at least one church. And if you are, then I would say someday I'd like to talk about the missions program because I've always liked being involved in missions in whatever church I'm with. Uh,
Hmm.
it's always been important to me. Church planting is another one, but missions to me is one of the I don't know. To me, it's one of the more important jobs of a church. I could be
Well,
wrong. I know bringing people to Christ is the most important job probably, but helping others is a close second at least. But tell us
yeah,
about Legal Shield. Tell us a little bit about it. You've been in it for a while. That's what I've heard.
yes, sir. Actually, have been involved with it for I just celebrated my 25th year, about 25 and a half years now, going coming up on my 26th year this fall.
Okay. Okay. Have you seen changes in the company over the years or?
Yes, sir. We've seen some great changes. We just had a few more this past couple of months ago. I was up in Baltimore for our international convention, and they've actually did some improvements to our app now. So it's
Okay.
just getting
Very
better and better,
nice.
and better and better. Yep. Keeping up with the times, man. They're trying to keep up with the times.
Okay. Yeah. I just made my first I called the I called the Legal Shield Central office in Oklahoma City. I think
Hmm.
you helped me figure out that there was one. And
Yeah.
I told them I was a disabled person. I asked them to help me walk me through the app that I had
Right.
not gotten it set up. They did. And then the
Awesome.
lady walked, but yeah, it was good for me. And then the lady walked me through calling the attorneys for the first time because
Hmm.
I've got at least one medical dispute. I mean,
Right.
medical legals dispute, which is a bill that I was told I would never have to pay. I'm
Yeah,
now
you should.
told I'm supposed to pay. So I talked to one of the attorneys yesterday, and he said he's going to write him
A
some
letter.
kind of letter, some kind of a letter. He had a
Yeah,
name for it anyway, so that'll help. I think. But
yeah.
how many? Hey,
Just,
tell us about some of your clients. What was one of your best clients? What was one of your worst clients over the 25 years? Clients, or by that I mean retail
remember,
clients or downline or whatever you
remember
want to.
one of the stories. You talk about story.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
one of my best stories. I think that I always share
Okay.
that I don't know if I shared it. I might have shared it on the other show. I don't think. I'm not
And
thinking.
so
I think.
not everybody watches every show.
Yeah, I don't think I shared it on the other show. I think I shared it on one of our one of our other calls,
Okay.
on one of our person to person calls. But anyway, one of the uh, most powerful aspects of the service that when I talk to people, find out what's their family, especially when they have college age students. I share this story because I'll ask them. I say, hey, how many folks have teenage drivers or or kids that are going to college, and see people
Yeah.
with the hand. And I share the story because one of the things that's the biggest event in the country is Friday night football. That is the biggest event in the
You ought
country.
to know living in Texas, by golly.
Would you agree with that, Mark?
Hmm.
Well,
Oh,
here's the
yeah.
story. It was a
Mhm.
gentleman that was going to school at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. Actually, up there a little bit north of the neck of the woods where I'm from, because I grew up in the East St. Louis, Illinois area. And
Okay.
but this member was from Atlanta. His mom had the membership because the membership covers your kids all the way up to age of 26 as long as they're full-time college students, which he was.
Right.
And he was him and three other of his classmates were out at a game. They were on their way in from maybe from a little party wherever they had been, and it was going on midnight up there in Champaign. They were on their way traveling back, and they got pulled over. And of course,
Right.
we have that 24-hour, 7 day a week police emergency part of the service, which is very huge. And
Oh,
uh, the story was that when they got pulled over, the police officer wanted to do a search, which the vehicle, which of course we know they're supposed to have probable cause to search the vehicle. I don't know what
right.
anyway they searched them, and
Right.
they found a gun in the car, and the driver admitted that the gun belonged to him, but the
Okay.
officer uh, get to talking with the kids, and then the one kid that had the membership. He remembered that his mom had told him if he had an emergency to call that number, the toll free number. He called, panicking because, of course, he was nervous of what was going on with the situation.
Right.
And the long story short, they actually, him being with his mother, having membership, he was given what they call a verbal bond, where he was released and allowed to go home. Now,
Okay.
the other three gentlemen in that vehicle were arrested and taken downtown. And he was asking them how come the other guys weren't able to go, because the gentleman that was driving admitted that the gun was his. And of course,
Right.
the officer's response was, well, nobody else had an attorney. You had an attorney for me to talk to. Nobody else has one. So they took him downtown, and they didn't even get to see a judge until the following Thursday.
Oh, Lord.
Now, when I share that story, I do the two different scenarios. I say, think of yourself as the parent of the child that had the membership versus the three guys that did not have the
Right.
membership.
Right.
And because I always say it's a life events service, and it is peace of mind, which that mother in Atlanta So she had a peace of mind because her son was released, allowed to go home. And then the law firm called to the jurisdiction on Monday, talked all of the legal job and the legal stuff, and it was
Right.
thrown out like that never happened. Now, when you look at those other three guys, being the parent of that, of course, college is not cheap. Of course, they already, tell them what the kind of expenses they have in this they got a scholarship. And then, of course, you still have uh, costs that you have to deal with. But when that situation arrived on them, they had to, first of all, get some bail bond money to get the child out of jail, hiring an attorney to take care of this situation, get their name cleared
Right.
and all this.
Right.
So
Right.
those are extra expenses that
Right.
they weren't looking to have.
Would
But
not have
when
had to pay if they had had legal shield
you,
because it's $29
there's,
a month, period.
that
Unless
piece
there's
of
some really super extenuating circ. There is some stuff in the contract about, well, if there's
oh
a
yeah,
50-year trial, then you might have to pay a little more. But
but the power of that story again, the child that his mom had the services,
right,
you know, it was going on midnight. I mean, think about that. Midnight, and he was able to get on the phone with his attorney to make sure that his rights weren't violated. Okay, so that's huge. And again, it goes from we often say, from trivial to the traumatic, we can help
yeah,
out with any situation, and because it's life's events. That's one
right.
of the
Now tell me this about. I did not know or did not remember one or the other that there was a part of the app like that. So how does that emergency calling thing work? Is it inside the app or what?
yes. There's two ways. I always tell my members to dial to actually put the number in their phone. There's a separate toll free number for that. I have them put that in there, and then also on the app, when you open up your app, there's a red tab on the bottom that says for the emergency that dial the
Oh,
police emergency. Yeah,
okay. And that's the same number as the one we put on our phone for emergencies.
yeah, right,
And you
exactly.
see them. Okay, good. All right. And then there's so many things we can talk about. I know we're gonna have to do a bunch more shows, but
Oh
can you at
yeah,
least touch on ID Shield a little bit today? Because I don't think we've talked about it any so far. It's one of
right.
the programs, right?
Yeah, yeah. The identity theft protection is huge too. We
Say a
you
little bit
get
about that for us.
yeah you get the service with the three different bureaus uh for the credit monitoring, and they monitor. You get it set up to where it monitors all of your identities. It helps out with the the web, the black web. It monitors all of
Okay.
the
Okay.
for your internet stuff, your bank accounts,
Is
which a
that
lot of
is that included in the $29 or is the ID Shield another?
ID Shield is like an add-on. It's an add-on.
Okay.
Shield
Okay.
is a part of it. It goes together because it's actually uh 1995 for an individual plan, and then it's 34.95 for the family, which takes care of all of your children too, because you know spouse and the children, because of course the identity theft is huge in the country today, and
Oh, yeah, I'm hearing about it in a lot of the groups I'm in. Alignable and other groups are saying, "Oh, this, that. My sister's identity got stolen, or this and that."
yeah,
It takes 2 or 3 years sometimes to get it back.
yeah,
You know,
and,
so it is a
and to
big
be
deal.
and to be able to have the service to to monitor all of your private information is a very key, because again, once you have your identity stolen, it just takes you, like I said, forever. People don't know what to do, but with this service, you
Yeah.
have a private investigator that gets with you and they walk you through the whole situation to get your identity back to where it was prior to being stolen.
Okay.
You know, people say, "Well, somebody they can have my identity, my credit is jacked up." No, here's the thing: it is way
You don't,
more than
you don't want to messing with your identity. You really don't, even if you think it's no big deal.
it is a huge deal because
Yeah.
that's what like we have to educate people on that because the thing is, you know, here's let me just I'll give a scenario on things that are happening out there because people think that identity theft is just credit, their bank. No, character too. Think about it. People can they get driver's license, they can commit crimes in your name, all kind of stuff. So I ask people like, for instance, myself, being a commercial truck driver over the years, I've asked drivers out there, what would you do if you was in this scenario? If you pull in to a way station and they do a random inspection, they do the inspection, checking your truck out to make sure that you're good to go and not, you check the truck is up to date.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then all of a sudden, because the U.S. Marshal, or 3, 4, 5 more police officers with the guns drawn, and trying to figure out what in the heck is going on, and you're fitting the description of an identity of somebody that was soliciting one of the prostitutes that they call lot lizards in that trucking industry, and they wound up dead because that was going on a while years ago. I remember that it was a driver that was soliciting them
Oh
prostitutes, and
boy.
then he was killing. So like, or if somebody was to had committed a crime in your name, maybe it stole a vehicle, whatever the case may be,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they have your information. What do you have that's going to actually help you in
Yeah,
that situation?
you don't have jack. You would have to go to jail and work it out with the judge later and hope they don't,
And
you
you
know.
have to prove that it wasn't you. Well, see, with this, first of all, what we talked about a few minutes ago, you've got the 24-hour, 7-day a week access with the legal sheet.
Right.
They went to put them on the phone with the attorney, and then they ask all the questions. Well, what is the description of the person that you're looking for? Because see, they're gonna throw all that legal stuff at them where you can be calm and not deal with
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah.
So it changes the situation for you because, and I'll share a story of a young lady that up in Dallas, of one of my partners she was getting ready to go to school, going off to college. My grandson is getting ready to go there in Ohio now, getting ready to go to, he's leaving in a couple weeks for football camp. But thank God his mother, my daughter, had the service, of course, so it's
Right.
a beautiful. But here's the thing, she was applying for financial aid and
Okay.
come to find out that she had two vehicles and a house in her name. Somebody had gotten her identity and purchased a home and some vehicles that she didn't know nothing about when she was young. So here they got to figure out this, but thank God that her parents had this services, which went to
Yeah.
work for her, got all that cleared up because they had the private investigators go in, get her information, and just get everything verified and got that cleared up. It takes
Boy,
so
oh boy.
long,
Hmm.
you FBI agents and everybody that goes to work with you, that link arms with you and walk you through this process. It's
Yeah.
huge. It's a huge, and
Yeah. Now, how can people get in touch with you if they want to talk with you about it, if they want to purchase the products? How do they get in touch with you? What's your contact information that you give out?
okay, great question, Mark. I'm gonna give you my number for the dial, and it is 678-360-4675. Once again, 678-360-4775. And
Okay.
my
Yeah.
email address is multiplyingdreams@gmail, and I'll spell that out: multiplyingdreams and those are
Multiplying at
dreams.
gmail.com. Okay. All right.
Contact me to get the
Yeah.
information.
Well, and
Get it.
I can verify that of all the people that I've talked to about Legal Shield on this show, which has been at least three that I can remember, and probably more like five.
Right.
You seem to be the one who's been around it the most, is possibly the most knowledgeable, and the most willing to answer questions. So I think, in the long run, someone connecting with you would be smart, because then they can call you with questions or whatever the case is. And the
Right.
central office in Oklahoma is always there to answer questions too. They were very
Absolutely.
nice to me over there too, but you know. So can I put a little teaser in here for some future show? Would that be okay?
Yes, sir. It's your show. You do.
People
Yeah.
tell me that, but I don't think of it as my show. I
I
think
know.
of it
I
the guest, the guest. You're an honored guest in my home. That's
yeah,
how
but
I.
we,
And
and
how
I
would
realize,
the of us treat an honored guest? A guest
yeah,
can ask whatever they want. So
we got to
folks,
have.
we'll do more. Deacon and I'll do more shows, and I do want to ask him about the mission field. I don't know for sure, but I would suspect that over the last, I think he's 200 and I'm 250. So about the last 200 years, he's been in a few mission situations, I would guess. And then I want to poke around the rest of his life at some point, but don't tell him yet. I don't want him to know, but I'm going to poke around the rest of his life and see if, like, his son has a gun repair shop, or his niece has a piano building store or something. We can get some of those people on the show. And
There
if
you
you are out there in the audience, or you, Deacon, have a nonprofit that's close to your heart, please have them call me, and we're happy to have them on. I've More than half of our shows have been nonprofits. So we just love helping nonprofits, especially the small ones, get the word out or raise money or whatever they need to do. So, folks, this has been Deacon Albert Patterson. He's a wonderful man. Apparently, he lives in Texas, but we're not going to hold that against him. And
go.
all right, we love you, Deacon. Take care of yourself, and please schedule another show at your earliest convenience. Okay.
We will get that done for you. Yes, sir.
All right. God bless you, sir. And thanks for that call the other day. Deacon called me the other day to say hi.
Yeah.
And out of the 700 trillion people I've interviewed, I can only remember one other person ever just calling me for the heck of it, like we would have done in Ohio. In those
Yeah.
country towns, you just say hi to the neighbor and stuff. So that was very beautiful of you. All right,
Absolutely.
I'll let you go, because I know you got a busy day, but God bless you, and thanks for helping by being on the show. And folks, give Deacon a call. Give us your number again, Deacon? Three something or what? What is it?
It is area code 678-360-4775.
All right, folks. Got 678. Then what?
360-4775.
All right, folks. You heard it here. All right. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Take care.
Take it easy.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk. All right,
Yes,
buddy.
yes, sir. God bless, man. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. I'm having a hard time turning my end off, so go ahead.
I'm signing out. Yes, sir.